Hello again, everybody. Scoon811 here with another comic book haul. Went to a local show here in the last month. Didn't have much, but they always have a good selection of discount comics, 5 for $1. And a local comic shop, comic and toy dealer, also had a big sale recently where books were 25 cents to 50 cents. Their higher priced books were also discounted. So over the last, 4 to 6 weeks, I picked up a little stack here and let's go through and see what I got. All right. Adventure Comics 460. If you've been watching my videos, you know I'm a big fan of the Adventure Comics. I got a bunch of different stories, usually about 4 or 5 stories per issue. Here we got a great Ross Andru cover. Wonder Woman saving Steve Trevor. I wonder who's been saved more in comics, Lois Lane, Robin, or Steve Trevor. Interesting competition. Also got Adventure Comics number 464, featuring Deadman. I got a little glare there. Sorry about that. And then, those are each 50 cents each. Can't go wrong. Then we got Ghost Rider, first series, number 53. Continuing my attempt to slowly put together all the Ghost Rider comics. I have pretty much all of the ones from last 1990 on, but the stuff from the 80s and the 70s, that's a little more expensive, so I find deals when I can. 57, Ghost Rider. And 60. Featuring some weird character called Black Juju. I have not read these Ghost Riders yet, but I'll get to it. But something I know is a good read is this book right here, The Shadow, number 7. This is a book I remember reading about years ago. Good story. If you ever find this one in the shops cheap, pick it up. Features a little boy who's just an evil little boy. There's nothing really redeeming about him. He's just evil. He's going to Washington to, I don't want to spoil anything. It's a good book. Pick it up. All right. Then, look at this. World's Finest 3, Superboy and Robin. Written by Chuck Dixon, art by Tom Grummett. Again, I love comics. I followed Robin at this point in time in the 90s. I never saw this book. I love Tom Grummett's art, and I never even heard of this book. So now I picked up number 1 of 2. Now I gotta find number 2. Love comics. That's great. Alright, what else we got? Punisher Warzone number 7, John Romita Jr. cover. I love Punisher Warzone. Chuck Dixon, John Romita, excuse me. Just good book. Highly recommend it if you find it. Alright, another good book. It's the Doom Patrol and Suicide Squad special number 1. I got the whole Suicide Squad years ago, and I had no idea this book even existed. I love these characters, and another chance to see them by the same creative teams. Just looking forward to reading this one. Top of the read pile. Alright, now. Detective Comics number 663. This is part of the Nightfall storyline from the 90s where Batman gets his back broken. This is probably my favorite comic book of all time. I already have a copy of this, but it's in rough shape because I've been reading it religiously since 1993. This wasn't the first comic book I bought, but this was really early in my comic buying, and this was the book that made me a lifelong comic fan. Chuck Dixon, the writer of this book, Graham Nolan did the art, and it's just the perfect comic book. When I think of Batman, I think of this story. When I think of great cliffhangers, the end of a story, I think of this book. highly, just super underrated book. I never see it pop up anywhere as far as anyone's top 10 or anything. I just think it's a great comic. Maybe that's just my own nostalgia. Maybe it's not as good as I'm thinking, but it's, I love this book. And to that end, Chuck Dixon, I became a big fan of his writing. And his start, he had a long run on Detective Comics, and it started right here, 644, Electric City Part 1. Really excited to find this for a quarter. I also found Detective Comics 645, Electric City Part 2. And Detective Comics 646, Electric City Part 3. Read all these. These are great. Chuck Dixon... Pretty much anything Chuck Dixon did for DC Comics is good stuff. I mean, just if you see his name in a book and it's in the, if you're at a comic sale, buy it. It's good. To that end, I had to get a couple more Detective Comics because these, look at these covers. 648 Matt Wagner cover. Beautiful book. I would love to, maybe I'll blow that cover up and put it on the wall. That's a nice cover. As is this one, Detective Comics 649. Again, Matt Wagner. Just pretty comics, man. For a quarter, can't go wrong. All right, geez, I guess I went on a Chuck Dixon scare here. So I also found Batman: Gordon's Law miniseries by Chuck Dixon and Klaus Janson, I believe you pronounce his name. Chuck Dixon's really good. He does good superhero stuff, but he's really good at grim, gritty crime drama. Gordon's Law here. Never heard of it. Picked it up. It's really good. Issue 2. Issue 3. And issue 4. Really good miniseries. Jim Gordon, as written by Chuck Dixon, is some of my favorite. And then, something completely off the grid. Dino Riders, #1 from Marvel Comics. This is not a great issue. I really enjoyed this cartoon in the 80s. It was not on very long, but my grandmother somehow owned a VHS tape of like the premiere episode, and whenever I went to my grandmother's house as a child, I watched this on VHS. Had some of these toys, giant dinosaurs. They had weapons, were mechanized aliens. Good stuff. Found this in the quarter bin and I was really excited. Dino Riders. Okay. Then, I already have this book. I already had this book. This is Green Lantern 96, part 1 of 3. A crossover with Green Arrow and Flash. I was a big Green Lantern fan during the Ron Mars run, and I said, well, I'll pick up these next books sometime. Yeah, this book came out in 98, so now nearly 20 years later, I finally found parts 2 and 3. God, so foolish. So anyway, I found Green Arrow 130, part 2 of 3, written by Chuck Dixon. Can't go wrong. And then The Flash 165. I was hoping this was written by Mark Waid, but this is during Mark Waid's time he took off from the book. And it's Grant Morrison and Mark Miller. Can't go wrong there either, but I preferred Mark Waid. Still, this is a really good series. Okay. Here's a beautiful cover. Adventures of Superman, number 463. Flash and Superman racing. I know I bought a Flash comic in the last year that also features a Flash Superman race. Dan Jurgens cover. Again, I love his artwork. It's so good. And I found this for a quarter. Pick it up all day long. Now, here's another series. It's crossover. Dark Knight over Metropolis, Superman, number 44, part 1 of 3. Another example of a book I had for years, and I never found the other parts cheap. I'd find them every so often, but I was going to pay $5 a book. So, years later, because this book came out in 1990, I found parts 2 and 3. Patience, everybody, patience. Adventures of Superman, number 467. And 654 of Action Comics. Good series. Not quite worth the decades of waiting, but really good books. If you ever find them on the cheap, I highly recommend picking them up. Here's a book. Here's an investment book. Batman Sword of Azrael, issue 1. First appearance of John Paul Valley, Azrael. Character that was very important to the Batman series in the 90s. No one does anything with this book. Now, I don't see this going for big money. I found it for 50 cents. I have several copies of this book. I think the character is going to debut on Gotham this year. It's only a matter of time until he shows up in a movie. It's a good character. He's got swords that are on fire on his arms. That's awesome. Eventually that's going to be in a movie. Eventually these books are going to be worth some money. Or I'll just have a stack of Batman Sword of Azrael number 1. Either way, Joe Quesada cover. Looks nice, huh? Okay. I got quite a few books here. Okay, Avengers 203. Nothing special about this book, just a early 80s Avengers book, and find that under $1, I'll pick that up. Here's a good book. Flash 54. I have a copy of this, but it's kind of beat up, so I was happy to get another copy. If you are a fan of the character Flash in any way, shape, or form, or just a fan of good superhero stories, go find this book. Long story short, Flash is on a plane, commercial jet. There's some shenanigans on the plane, bad guys afoot. The stewardess here on the cover gets sucked out. Flash, he runs really fast. What's he going to do at 20,000 feet as someone's plummeting to their death? He's not sure, but he jumps out of the plane anyway and figures he'll figure it out on the way down. It's a good book. It's good. Just find it, read it, enjoy it. It's good. Whew. What's not good, but I just keep buying these Atlas comics. The Brute, number 1. Atlas comics. If I see them, I pick them up. I'm slowly but surely putting together the run of these not so good books, but I'm just fascinated by them. They're just like Marvel's bastard brother. It's good. It's good stuff. Atlas Comics, John Target, Manstalker, number 2. Cool cover. And Tiger Man, number 2. Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko, co-creator of Spider-Man, creator of Spider-Man, depending on your political stance there. Just would do whatever the heck to make a buck in the comic industry. He created some amazing characters, but then, he'd do Tiger Man. Interesting. All right. Now we're getting to the good stuff. These were certainly not quarter bin material. These were discounted. I think I paid $5 a piece for these next 4. I was very happy to pay only $5 a piece. Tales to Astonish number 66. I love Silver Age Marvel. I pick them up when I can, if it's affordable and if they're nice looking books. Great looking comic. I also was able to pick up Tales to Astonish 67 and 83. It's a really good shaped book. That's probably a VG plus, very good plus. That's for $5. That was a really good get. I was happy about that. And then Tales to Astonish 85. Look at that Hulk cover. Silver Age Marvel. Just makes me happy. These books were all complete. They're not missing anything. Pages were tanned off-white, but for $5 a piece. That's nice stuff to add to my collection. Then I went on to end up here, I went on a real Jack Kirby run. I found these next two books in the 50-cent stack, and I said, well, how much Jack Kirby stuff can I pull out of here? 50 cents each. So I kind of went on a little mission after these, but I found these two first. Commandy, number 4. I've never really read Commandy. I know there's some guys that I follow here on YouTube that really enjoy the character, really enjoy the book. But, 50 cents, number 4. It's a really nice shaped book. I really don't think he meant to have that in there, because I know this book goes for more than that. I think it's a first appearance of some character who I don't know yet. I just haven't read it. But, so I got that one, and then another Commandy, number 29. I really just wanted this for that cover. I love that Superman costume on the cover. Jack Kirby, man, just his artwork, you can't ignore it. It's just, even that costume looks, it's eye-catching. You're like, what is that? Why is it? It just looks different than how anyone else draws. It's great. So then, yeah, I kind of was like, well, what other Jack Kirby stuff is hiding here in the 50-cent stack? And I found some goodies. I found, first of all, some of his last work. Superpowers miniseries, number 3 from 1985. I thumbed through this book. These aren't really good reads, the Superpowers books, but, as a Jack Kirby, if you want to collect Jack Kirby, you have to have this kind of stuff. And it's fascinating because in these other books from the 60s and 70s, Jack Kirby's name is so prominently featured in the credits. And in this, from 1985, it's just a small type, just says penciler Jack Kirby, just like he's any other schmo. So we got that. Got some of his Marvel work here. Captain America 199. Looks in very good shape, I'd say. And Captain America 202. 70s Jack Kirby on Captain America, character he co-created. We got Eternals number 9. I've almost got this whole run of this book. I have a soft spot for the Eternals. I don't know why. It's a weird series. It's very, I don't know, but I like it, and I'm slowly getting there. Then I found a couple other weird ones. I got Silver Star number 6 from the Pacific Coast comic line, and Silver Star number 5. I just need the first 4 and I'll be good to go. I'm going to read this series backwards, apparently. And then, the last 2 books I picked up, Jack Kirby goodness. I'm saving the best for last. A series I've always wanted to pick up, but could never pull the trigger and spend money on, but I found 2 issues for 50 cents each. Devil Dinosaur. Devil Dinosaur number 3. I mean, that appears to be some kind of man creature wearing a Triceratops head fighting a Stegosaurus. I'm in. That's good stuff. But my real good book. So excited. Devil Dinosaur number 1. This book is not in the best shape. You probably can't tell here, but it's got some spine roll. It's got some creasing, but the colors still pop, and it looks good. I wish they still used covers like this. I wish the color palette... I mean, I know this is... What is this? 1978? 78, so obviously times march on. The color palette expanded greatly. The techniques expanded. It's all modern. It's all nice, but... Oh, that's eye-catching. That's a work of art right there. Oh, it's a good-looking book. And I always saw that for bigger money. I always saw that for, well, more than I wanted to spend on a book that I got this 50 cents. It was my real big gem of the sale, and I was very happy about it. And those are the highlights. Got some more books here, but they're pretty much just filling in runs and nothing really exciting. And I've already talked for almost 20 minutes. So I think I'll leave it here. But I will continue to hunt for more Jack Kirby on the cheap. Continue to keep my eye out for Marvel Silver Age books. And pretty much anything else I can do to add to this collection that I can look around my room and go, good God, you have a lot of comic books. What's wrong with you? Okay, everybody take care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.